So I want to talk about something really quickly. And this is just a follow-up to the video I did earlier about caution with some of the new earth messages. I think we got to be careful falling into these traps. I'm not saying that something isn't going on, but we got to be careful falling into these traps. I think it's just really best to focus on yourself. Focus on the part what needs work in you, and focus on what you don't know. Just basically just try to cover everything. Because here's what I got to say, and I've been hearing this. And this is where you have to just choose a side. Okay? If you're going to go on the side of what you call unconditional love, which has nothing to do with the emotional feeling towards another person. This reversed type of paradigm or reversed type of world made it seem like the unconditional love got to do with feeling some kind of way about a particular person. That ain't got nothing to do with it. It's for me, what I got, what seemed to be revealed to me is that it's just basically you know that you're not an individual person. You know that you're one. Okay, and so especially with now when people doing things to each other, I'm gonna tell you something. People just hurt themselves. I feel like they getting all this stuff. They taking stuff from people. They take energy from people. They take money from people. They do things to sabotage people, and then they might get some kind of out of it. They might get money, or they even sabotage somebody else because they don't like the person, and the person eventually get fired because the person that did the sabotaging is actually popular, charismatic, and so nobody will ever believe they will hurt a fly, and so they able to get away with anything they do. But really, those people are going to end up hurting themselves. They don't see that yet because they see themselves as an individual. They don't understand that they are part of a whole. So they don't get, eventually they're going to see that they actually hurt themselves. That's what's going to happen. You're not an individual. There's no individuality. Okay? But, and that's what's pretty much wrong, too, because people did think they were individuals. Now, I see if you want, like, justice for something that something was done to you. Maybe it was some insurance money you were supposed to get. Maybe you didn't get a paycheck, or maybe you did some kind of work for somebody and they ain't pay you. I get you supposed to get, you doing stuff to get what you deserve, or you getting some kind of justice. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just people in general. People in general that do nasty shit to other folks just for no damn reason at all. Just do nasty shit to other people. They have no idea that they hurt themselves. They have no idea because they were really under the impression that they were an individual. They were under the impression that they were an individual. Okay? And so basically this is what I want to say, because that's not even what I was really was going to really say. I want to talk about this, be careful with your thoughts. Be careful with your thoughts, because thoughts are things, which they are. I said before, thoughts do not belong to you. Your thoughts are not your own. I said before, the Bible is correct, but the Bible is the way it is interpreted is not necessarily the correct way. When I get to know self more, I get to see a lot of things in the Bible that apply when I get to know self more. It's not about anything outside of you. It's not about any savior that's outside of you. And so in the Bible, it even say your thoughts are not your own. And that's true. Thoughts are things, and they do not belong to you, and they're actually entities. They're actually entities. Emotions are, they can be entities. Okay? So, but like I say, I'm careful at just attaching myself to emotions, because the real you is just, like I said, it's an experience. I mean, you learn from it, but I try to see things as an experience so I don't get too sucked into it. I try not to. Okay? But yeah, when people I listen to some people, and they say, be careful with your thoughts. Be careful, be thinking negative thoughts all the time. You don't want to do that anyway. I definitely agree with that. Be careful thinking negative thoughts. Be careful with this. Or if something happens to you to get you down, try not to say that too long. Try to get up out of it real quick, because of what's happening now. Everything is materializing. The minute when you think of something, it's going to materialize really quickly, and you're going to get stuck in those thoughts and stuff like that. I get what the person is saying. I've heard a few people say this. I give you the person that's saying that things are going to materialize really quickly in your world, in your reality. So be careful with the things that you're thinking. But I said before, you're getting to a point where, consciousness is already being uploaded to this cloud. I mean, I've seen the cloud, not with the physical eyes, but I've already seen the cloud. I mean, consciousness has already been uploaded to the cloud. Okay. And what's going to happen is, and it don't matter how positive this sort of feeling I get. It don't matter how positive you want to think now. It's just gonna be like everybody's sharing the same consciousness. You're gonna realize that you're not an individual. You're gonna realize that you're not an individual. Now it's gonna be hard to separate yourself from somebody else that could be going through something really bad in life, and you might be doing well, but because consciousness has been uploaded to this cloud, everybody's going to be sharing experiences regardless, seem like. Okay, but it depends on what side you choose. I told you this is the side, that side right there is the side of AI, the side of masculine. I mean, I'm not against AI. I definitely use it for what I need, but I'm going to have to go with the nature on this one. I'm going to have to go with the natural oneness on this one, because they're using a masculine AI version of oneness. And when I say masculine, I don't mean what physically look like a man. I don't mean that. I literally mean anti-feminine. I don't mean what people want to call divine masculine or whatever people want to say. This has got nothing to do with what looks like a physical man. But all of this stuff, this other oneness they got going on with this AI and whatever, it's really anti-nature. Okay, but that's going to be a oneness. But here's what I want to say, though, because here's what I was going to say, though, about that. Even if you're not thinking things and you're careful, like say you're careful in the next 3 months, you're careful of your thoughts. You're careful not to hold on to things that might disturb you. You're being very careful not to let it last too long, because you realize that the thoughts are going to manifest really quickly. All of the emotions and you hold on to stuff is going to manifest in your world and your reality very quickly, right? But here's the thing, though. You never know what could have been in your shadow for the past 30 years that never came back up, right? So it's really not about, it's not about you just being careful with your thoughts and your emotions and not letting things get to you too much. It's really not about that. I mean, let me try to say it correctly. Yeah, that's fine, but the thing is that if it's something, it's best to really address the shadow and clear everything up as much as possible that you're not even aware of, because some things that could have happened in your life and you could have blacked out. I think some things happened in my life and I blacked out. So see, now I don't even have an awareness of what happened to try to do something about it. So, and then it might come up. It might come up at the last week of the 3 months that I tried to be careful. And that thing that I did not know was there because I blacked out might come up in the last week of my 3 months. And that's another thing I don't like about this particular. I don't like having a race against this clock. Having a race against the clock. I'd rather be timeless. I don't have to keep racing against the clock. See, that's a game. It's a dirty game too, because it's really messing with people's lives. Now, somebody else behind this, because somebody's controlling an app. I don't say it that somebody is controlling an app. People don't know that consciousness is in the app. They don't know it. I keep seeing it, though. I keep seeing it in visions. I keep seeing it. No, I don't have no physical proof of anything on a piece of paper, but I bet if I was to really try to dig, I probably might find somebody that knows. I bet Elon Musk knows. I bet Mark Zuckerberg knows. I bet Mark Zuckerberg knows. But I don't know where to find it on a piece of paper somewhere. Okay? And so somebody is behind having a good little laugh while your life they think it's funny. You're taking it's a game to them. To them, they're not taking it seriously. But you feel everything that's happening. But while these controllers behind this video game think this is funny. Think it's funny. So I don't like this version of what they're doing. I don't like it. I don't like their game. It's very anti-feminine. It's opposite the mother, and I don't like their game. Okay, But anyway, like I said though, even with that, that's just how I feel about it. But even with that, when you want to be careful with your thoughts and all that stuff and be careful, I agree with all that. I just want to add though, you just want to just address your shadow altogether. Just address the shadow altogether. Do not ignore the shadow. Because there's some stuff that's been stored up in there that you never even thought about or you didn't even know was there. And then you never know what could have happened, what somebody else might have done too. You got to be careful. So I'd rather just, instead of just constantly trying to watch my thoughts and stuff, which I want to do, but the best thing to do is address that shadow, because if thoughts keep coming up like that, there's something going on with the shadow, and it's best to take care of that shadow. It's best to take care of the shadow. But like I don't know how it's going to go in what you call the future. These words we use, what you call the future. I don't know how this is going to look now because they creating this oneness, which has always been one. But now they're going to have it where people are going to share each other's experiences. So I don't know how well that's going to even work, doing the shadow and stuff, doing the shadow work. And then you're all put together as one. That means you're still going to be only as strong as your weakest link. So it don't matter how much work you do for yourself. And whatever other person's going on in their life, in their mental, that's affecting their reality, it might come and affect yours no matter what you did for yourself, because it's all one. Everything is one. Or maybe you might want to move to an area, a type of consciousness where people ain't stressed out like that. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I don't know how it's going to work though. But anyway, I think that's all I had to say, and I'll talk later.